Good morning to Americas, good afternoon to Europe, good evening to Asia. This is Alex. I'm the CEO and the founder of Equilibrium. And as usual, we are welcoming you at our 29th community call. We hold community calls on a monthly basis. So it's the end of April, and as usual, we're here to share with you exciting updates, what's going on with Equilibrium, and to share some exciting plans, what's going to happen in the nearest future. Today, I'm, as usual, joined by my colleague, Peter. Introduce yourself, please.
Yeah, thank you, Alex. Hi, everyone. Sorry I missed it last time. Couldn't make it, but I'm still here. I'm still with you, and I'm going to be discussing with Alex some of the interesting perspectives on our future developments, and definitely going to be an awesome community call as always. Yeah.
Amazing. Let me share our slides. As you know, we usually prepare slides for you guys, and today is not the exceptional day. So let me walk you through the agenda of today's call. First of all, we want to remind you about our EQ Blast campaign, which is in full swing. And firstly, thank you very much for participation. Obviously, to those who have joined, who hasn't, please close attention to that. This is a really interesting opportunity, I guess. We are hosting the annual Polka DeFiance event, which will happen in May, and now we are right in the middle of our preparation for that. So hopefully you will also have a chance to join and listen from experts and the most active actors in the DeFi space of the Polkadot ecosystem. We will highlight few integrations today, respectively, Astar, Nova Wallet, ArthSwap, where we just launched the dual farming campaign. It's another yielding opportunity, by the way. Please don't miss it. Actually, like most of these updates are directly or indirectly connected with our EQD stablecoin, which makes our stablecoin more established, more visible, and more kind of accessible within the Polkadot ecosystem. Also, we will share some news about our updates on our Ledger app development. I'm sure you've heard about that we're actually working on this thing. And we'll also remind you about our Genshiro parachain migration, meaning that we are moving from the standalone chain to parachain, and I'm sure it's very important, very significant events within the Genshiro sort of journey, and there are certain actions required from users, so please don't miss it. And we'll highlight like AMA session that we recently hosted with Astar team, give you updates on our development plans and how things going with the Multichain bridge. So this is the agenda for today. And let me just right away jump on the first topic of the EQ Blast. Just to remind you, this is the campaign which allows you to earn significant APR on funds that you are depositing into liquidity pools of Equilibrium. So far, we have managed to get, like it's fluctuating, obviously, due to market volatility. So it's right now around $2.3 million in different assets. What's interesting that among that asset, there's quite a lot, like quite big share of dots in various forms. Like it's both dots deposited directly, also different wrappers. C dot is quite recognizable among all the other assets, and actually has quite a significant share. So if you guys holding C dots, for example, this is a perfect use case for you, because like you can use it as liquidity for farming, locking in different liquidity pools, or you can basically use it as collateral to borrow stablecoins, for example, generating EQD. Again, EQD is getting more and more traction, getting more kind of use cases. It's being added to various AMMs. It can be swapped for various Polkadot assets already. So this probably would be an interesting opportunity for you, and not only for CDOT holders, by the way. We're also setting other assets. You can go to our application and figure out what will work best for you specifically. So far we have seen participation of over 400 participants. They're actively leveraging this opportunity of Blast campaign, mining EQ tokens. Users who actually were entitled to the Blast bonus is like 300 people who actually deposited also EQ tokens alongside with other assets. And just to remind you, if you are depositing EQ tokens into the system alongside with the other assets, so the notional value of these tokens is capturing certain value of the asset that you're locking in the system, and on this amount of funds you are receiving the extra APR, which is like a boosting up to 2 times. So it's like really exciting opportunity, by the way. And actually, like EQ that we have already distributed is over 2 million. So like, again, the opportunity for you guys is to get over 90% APR by combining various strategies. So again, you might find out that like certain staking, for example, say staking on bots will give you around like 20% APR. But on top of that, if you are getting like liquid dot wrapper that we are issuing within our system, and deposit to another pool or generate EQD stablecoin and put them into the stableswap pools, then you can multiply your APR by few times and eventually get this kind of higher APR. Of course, it will require some legwork from you, but eventually I'm sure you will be pretty much satisfied with the results you get. So here on the slide, you can see the QR codes. If you scan it and go to the Equilibrium's application, you will be able to find the way how to deposit funds and to join the QBlast campaign. So don't hesitate to combine various strategies. We have developed pretty user-friendly interface where you can see all the strategies in one place and find out how they work and how they can be combined one with another. So yeah, all the information you will find on our website. Very easy, very straightforward. Again, to remind you, we're also accepting dots, and we are running the liquid dot staking program. So meaning that you can deposit dots and get regular dot staking APR, which is currently like roughly 13%. And on top of that, you are receiving, in exchange of your stake dots, you're receiving like a Q dot wrapper, which you can also stake in the money market pool, or let's say use it as collateral and get like extra APR, which will multiply your yields by a few times eventually, could be. And what's important that the Q dot is quite unique in terms of its mechanics, because like it actually allows you for instant unstaking, right? So you don't need to wait 28 days until like your dots will be unlocked according to the regular procedure on the Polkadot network. So yeah, you can learn all this stuff on our website and our Medium. We have posted a bunch of articles, so we have pretty comprehensive DeFi platforms here, which will allow you for quite interesting and attractive APR rewards on staking various assets. Okay, so another topic here today is our Polka DeFiance event, which is scheduled for May the 4th. And may the 4th be with you. So this is almost the tagline of our today's of our event. By the way, I can't remember who of the team proposed that. Probably Pizza. So big shout out to the team. They definitely did
No,
a
it
great
was
job.
Marie. So yeah, shout out to her.
Mary. Shout out to Mary. Okay. Amazing. Okay, so this is super creative. So I guess today we have our guest. This is Agyle from Talisman, and actually, yeah. So actually, I'm here to invite him to the stage because Talisman is actually one of the co-organizers of this event, alongside with us and PRT. And actually, Agyle already been, attending our community call, so he is quite an experienced attendee. Hi, Agyle, how are you, man?
I'm good. Can you guys hear me okay?
Hello.
It's a bit laggy on my end.
I hear you.
We hear you pretty well, yeah.
Okay.
So firstly, yeah, it's a great pleasure to welcome you, I guess, the second time at this stage in the warm company of our followers, subscribers, our community members. So hopefully we will join today's conversation, and yeah, let's cover all things Polka DeFiance.
Awesome. Let's do it. Do you want me to unload an ear bashing, or do you guys have some questions?
So no, I just just the matter of conversation. So I want to just freely touch on various aspects of that. I personally super excited about hosting this event for the third time. The first Polka DeFiance was taking place in long time ago. It's actually like as it's 2021, spring 2021. Can you imagine? So it's like three years ago. So there's for the third time we're hosting these events. So the first one was a great success. We had a lot of attendees those days. It was almost like about 3,000 people who eventually looked through the events, at least through its replay. We had a lot of star guests back then, including top tier funds like Pantera, Polychain, and others. So this time we also have pretty decent lineup, I guess. But right now we're more focused on the Polkadot ecosystem itself, because like in 2021, as you can imagine, there were not that many actors who were actually be ready for the production and actually had some actual stuff to share. Right now, the ecosystem is getting more mature. There's way more, participants and projects who are actually doing their thing pretty well and succeeded in all many aspects. So obviously, like right now is probably the right time to focus more on the ecosystem projects and give them spots on this event. Yeah. So what's your perspective? Like, why give your reasoning to the audience why you decided to support the events and join as the co-organizer this year?
Yeah, good question. I mean, I think it's interesting. The event is a long-standing one. It is, as old as Talisman itself. And yeah, well, I think I was an attendee and I had the opportunity of being a speaker last year, which I appreciate the platform. And yeah, I just thought it was such a great event. Like, especially as we in the Polkadot and Kusama ecosystem, we sort of ask ourselves, how can we fund the marketing and growth and community engagement? I think online events are a really, really like clever and high leverage way to get our message out there, rather than paying lots of money for vinyl banners in a giant exhibition center. Yeah, so we were keen to get involved and support. And yeah, I think there's also sort of shifting tides and shifting narratives. And so what the focus of the event is kind of shifting, and we're really excited to help out.
Yeah, and actually, I just saw Marie posted in the chat that Agile is so helpful. Thanks so much, man. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've been on calls with the Equilibrium team the last couple of nights, and we've been running around, putting lots of effort and love into making sure the event goes well.
nice. Thanks very much for these efforts. Unfortunately, I didn't manage to join that calls, but I'm sure that they went pretty well, and we have pretty streamlined agenda, and everything will be super awesome. And by the way, like everyone who is here today on the call, everyone is invited. Don't miss the events. I think you can find all the information about that at the website polkadefiance.com. There you will find the link to Crowdcast, where the event will be actually held, and where you can register already today. So yeah, let's probably just a little bit talk about speakers. So this year we have over 20 projects joining us today, and like 6 panels. Quite a bunch of stuff will be going on. Like what's you are excited most of all?
Yeah,
Which
well,
topic caught your attention? Yeah.
we're definitely putting a lot of love into curating the most interesting talks. I think there's a lot of projects that have been around in the ecosystem for a while, and there's lots of new and old projects, and we really have been putting a lot of effort into platforming really new, interesting narratives, projects that are just launching products, like things that you can take action and leverage today, and projects that are growing and going really well. In terms of the website, I think we've done some pretty radical stuff to the schedule, and so definitely leverage the website to sign up. But the content is probably gonna change on there very soon. But I'll rattle off. There's 5 topics, 5 talks that I'm really excited for. And so the first is Zixi from Interlay is going to join us, and she's going to talk about accelerating de-dollarization and trustless Bitcoin DeFi, which is pretty cool stuff.
Yeah.
Jonathan, from my co-founder at Talisman, is going to be hosting a pretty interesting panel called "Can Polkadot Inflate into Oblivion?" and other interesting questions about staking, which I think will be a fun conversation. Rob Hagemeyer, the co-founder of Polkadot, is going to join us for our fireside chat called "Reforming the App Chain Thesis." And then we have Mangata Finance giving a really awesome talk called "Polkadot to the Rescue: Decentralizing Ethereum Rollups." And then finally, someone you might not have heard of before, a founder of a project called Privadex, a guy called Caphill, is going to talk about how seamless one-click cross-chain swaps have arrived in Polkadot. Pretty exciting stuff.
Yeah, I'm also looking forward to the Privadex sort of talk, because actually Natalie made transition to this project, and working with them, I guess, on the business development side as well. So yeah, this is pretty exciting. I didn't know that we
the last one sounded kind of interesting to me.
The Privadex, yeah, you can check it out. Yeah, so we I didn't know that we managed to get Robert, by the way. Wow, this is exciting news even for me, because like I didn't know he was on the lineup.
I've been calling in all the favors, so we're gonna make something's gonna happen, Alex. Well, who knows what?
Yeah, amazing. This is so exciting to me, and I'm sure for the audience as well. So yeah, don't miss the event. I'm sure there will be a lot of fun there. And the thing is, like, seems like Polkadot is getting more traction. I know that guys, actually, unfortunately, I'm not in Austin, but I know that there's a huge gang over there these days, and they're like friends of mine. They're texting me, "Hey, we're so missing you when we're seeing all these billboards on polka dots like everywhere on the consensus, and it seems like they did a great job with the exposure and spreading awards about polka dots over there. So yeah, and
I think.
public events, like,
sorry, it's a bit loud.
Yeah,
I
go
didn't mean
ahead.
to interrupt you. I was going to say the marketing engine is in full swing. It's people said when marketing, and it's now.
Yeah, it's right now, of course, yeah. And there will be like Polka Decoded at the end of June in Copenhagen, and I'm sure there will be very interesting event as well, like full blast. So yeah, and we're actually quite proud to contribute to this movement as well by putting out, Polka DeFiance. Again, this event was never funded by Treasury, so it's like solely our initiative, and always just managed by the teams joined this in this initiative. Again, just to reiterate, this year it's Parity, Talisman, and Equilibrium, and we are doing our best to put this together and make it interesting for the audience and for the whole Polkadot fam and above that. So yeah, cool, man. I mean, do you want to highlight something else in terms of the events? Maybe some specific topic you wanted to cover today?
Well, I ran over my top 5, which we're going to tweet out very soon. I think maybe the only other interesting thing is you might hear a little bit about Talisman going open source at Polka DeFiance too. But I will say no more, because withholding the good stuff gives you power, and we're still ramping up.
Right. Probably here it's worth mentioning that Equilibrium silently has gone open source recently as well, so you can check out our repository and find all the code base over there. So from this standpoint, I guess we're on the same page, and
Very cool.
it was like, yeah, exactly. It was like I remember those tough days when we were putting out Kusama treasury proposals, like last year in the summer, I guess was it. And we had like really tough times when a community was pointing out like, where's the open source? Like what's going to happen there? And eventually we made it. So yeah, we're very exciting, and I'm sure that Talisman team will be also super excited about that once you just open this up.
Been a lot of
okay.
A lot of work in the making.
Yeah, I can imagine. You need to be really very well prepared, because like when you're open sourced, obviously, like if you have any vulnerabilities, you need it, like it can play a bad game with you, because like it's very easy to find it in the codes and then exploits if this happens. But I'm sure that you guys are coding with no bugs, right?
Yeah. We're very good. Our testing suite is really we have really good test coverage. We're just finishing our second audit now. There's not really much about our code base that is new and I guess untested. So when we go open source, we're pretty confident that things will be rock solid.
Yeah, I'm 100% sure. And who is your audits, by the way? Auditors, I'm sorry. Who's doing the audit?
That is a good question. I actually don't know off the top of my head. That would be a question for my co-founder, Jonathan.
Okay, no worries. Like I'm because like there's not that many good auditors here, specifically for Rust code and Rust developments. But you guys are not developing parachain, so it's fairly easier. Yeah.
It's a bit different for us. We jokingly say that we are JavaScript hipsters. I think so. If I remember correctly, our first audit was performed by a company called Atreides Partners, which were the same company that audited the Polkadot JS wallet. I'm not sure exactly who our second auditors were off the top of my head.
Hey, Agyle, since we started talking JavaScript, it came to my mind that we're working on a Ledger app right now. So my question is, well, once we do all the things we want to do and build this unified ledger app, we will be able to use it with Talisman.
Yeah, definitely. It should work out of the box with Talisman. Yeah, I think you guys mentioned the unified ledger app. I'm really keen to see that. I think it's a really tricky, it's a really tricky challenge. It's like, if you guys can crack it, this will really unlock so much users in Polkadot. So I think, to be honest, I'm not sure how they know this, but the Ledger team have quoted me some pretty interesting numbers, like something like 20% of all DOT is like locked up on ledgers. And so the fact that the Ledger apps are so inflexible in their multi-chain capabilities is a real barrier. And so this is a really big opportunity you guys are cracking.
Yeah, and actually we see
right now, well, I'll talk about it a bit later, but we're doing a lot of interesting work in this direction, and one of the aspects is actually working with the wallet itself when the ledger gets connected, and the UX for the user is really important. And since Talisman has one of the best UX experiences in the ecosystem, I think it's a good opportunity to go.
Yeah, definitely. We'll be there.
Yeah, but by the way, Maria, just throw the message here in the chat with the link to the Polkadot forum discussion regarding our unified ledger app that we are currently putting together. So yeah, if you guys want to take a look, just heads up, you can find the link here on the chat. Okay, man. Yeah, so look, I'm very excited about our collaboration on the Polka DeFiance side, and I'm sure that there's a lot of work that we can do together, both on ledger thing, actually come to reality, and other stuff. So yeah, great to have you as usual here on our calls. Definitely, you are very welcome, the dearest guest for us. So please don't hesitate to join us. Yeah, please don't hesitate to join us once you will be able to make it. Amazing, cool.
Awesome.
I think that's pretty much it from my side so far. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for joining, Agyle. Yep.
Thanks, Joe. Bye-bye. Take care. Have a good one. Cool. Yeah, so let's see what's next on today's agenda. Just a sec. I'll get this slide back here. Just bear with me. Okay. Yeah. So just a reminder, Polka DeFiance 2023, the third event in the series will happen on May the 4th. You can register by scanning the code here on the slides, which will lead you to like certain place on our website. I don't know even what's going on by this link. Probably it's Crowdcast or Polka DeFiance website. You will figure this out. Over 20 projects, more than 20 speakers from all the most prominent projects of the Polkadot ecosystem. From Parity, Robert Habermeyer will join us, which is super exciting. Fireside chats. The CEO of Parity will also giving a keynote speech. Topics: DeFi, bridges, security, funding, everything. So May the 4th be with you on Polkadot. Nice. Okay, so the next thing we want to cover today is the integration of the EQD stablecoin by Astar. So EQD is added to the Axiom connection and Astar's user interface, so you can conveniently move EQD from Equilibrium and all the way around to Equilibrium back from Astar. So we are expecting that this integration will unlock multiple opportunities for EQD stablecoin holders. EQD will be integrated massively in the Astar's DeFi ecosystem. So we're already like testing the water with the biggest Astar-based AMM called ArthSwap. I'll talk a little bit later about this thing. So just give you a few highlights on how exactly EQD can be used through these integrations. Like first of all, it can be used as collateral for borrowing in Astar-based DeFi protocols very soon. It can be used as lending liquidity. So imagine you generate stable coins in Equilibrium at one APR, which will be fairly low, obviously like given certain kind of circumstances, including your collateral, like how much your loan secures whatsoever, but you can reach fairly low sort of interest rates on your loan in EQD, and then there could be some arbitrage on interest rates when you are depositing to some DeFi protocol where APR on borrowing will be high, or even there will be like some liquidity mining incentives that you can get on top of your regular lending APR or borrowing or whatever. So you potentially can use it as collateral for borrowing, again, different assets that you might miss in your portfolio. Then you can use it as lending liquidity, again, for earning yield. Can be used as liquidity for provision to AMM pools. ArthSwap is the first in this lineup, so there will be more to come. Actually, QD can be swapped for other assets on Astar-based AMMs, and this is obviously opens multiple opportunities for liquidity mining and yield. So again, the very first use case we are introducing with the Astar ecosystem is integration of the EQD stablecoin to the ArthSwap. So basically, the pair is live. So the initial liquidity which was deposited to there was 100K, 50K worth Astar tokens and 50K worth EQD. So it's like EQD Astar pair. The farm APR right now is 77%. And here are the QR code. So if you're interested in exploring this opportunity, you can scan it here and go to ArthSwap and explore opportunity to lock liquidity over there. I'm sure it's an interesting opportunity. Of course, it's like dual farming campaign that currently run by us and the team of ArthSwap. Don't miss it. Take a look, and I'm sure there will be more and more similar use cases introduced in the closest future. So probably another thing regarding EQD for today's call is that we are excited to announce the launch of EQD USDT pair on our own stableswap, which is integrated in our web application. You can check it at equilibrium.io, and actually right now we are running one pool, which is EQD against USDC bridged through Multichain. But now starting next week, we'll be able to use this pool, which will be comprised of native USDT based on statements and EQD as our native decentralized stablecoin. So a few reasons to participate. First of all, our EQ Blast campaign. Obviously, like EQ Blast APR, again, it can be over 90% if you combine their strategies. So obviously, like this pool is also a legit way to get APR boosts through EQ Blast campaign if you deposit funds over there. Additional bonuses are available for EQ token holders. So in parallel, if you're staking EQ tokens in the platform, your APR that you get through the EQ Blast campaign will be multiplied. And also, like what's probably also interesting, that LP tokens can be reused in Equilibrium's pool. So we consciously accept LP tokens and as liquidity for example, for the insurance pool, we can actually earn quite high APR in terms of the QBlast campaign. So basically, another opportunity for you is collateralize your LP tokens and get more liquidity if you feel you need to do so. And yeah, so this is the exciting opportunity. Again, to remind you, EQD is a native decentralized stable coin of our protocol, which is pretty robust. It's introducing quite novel mechanisms of debt management, right? So we completely reworked the mechanism of loan defaults liquidations that gave us the opportunity to lower the collateral requirements. So the collateral requirements will be you will be minting EQD stablecoins is pretty low. It's like as low, like liquidation happens at as low collateralization level as 105%, which is like probably the lowest liquidation level of collateralization across all the DeFi space. So yeah, definitely take a look, and I'm sure you will find interesting ways how you can leverage this opportunity. So, and without further ado, let me give it over to Peter, who will take it from here and share more updates on our development roadmap.
Yeah, thank you very much, Alex. Really exciting stuff about ArthSwap and making EQD truly native stablecoin of the entire ecosystem. That's our main goal, guys. Yeah, really looking forward to that. So, talking a bit more about Ledger, as promised, we are right now in the process of creating this unified app, which would support all of the different parachains. And here on the slide, you see the ones we already support. So previously, the biggest issue with the app was the need to decode the call data directly on the Ledger device, and we decided to forego this functionality. And this was decided in conjunction with the Ledger team, and pretty much the app will work like a common app for the Ethereum-based blockchains, where everything except for ERC20 transfers is blind signed, and you're presented only with transaction hash to be checked on your device. And when things get down to transfers of some funds or money, you get the full parsing of the entire transaction. So this is currently what we're working on. And once again, to reiterate, this was concluded with Ledger, that this setup is actually enough to proceed for the Ledger Live store. This significantly reduces the overheads related to developing every single app for every single parachain. And so we're unifying everything here. So our next steps are actually also outlined on the slide. So we will be adding clear signing for all of the types of balances. And currently there are like 5 different balance palettes inside the ecosystem. It's Polkadot itself, the standard balance palette, then the assets for state min and state mine. Then there is a quite popular solution from Agyle team, which is called ORML, I believe. Yeah, and also there is us, the unique parachain with its unique balances called EQ balances. And we're unique because, yeah, we support both, positive and negative balances, and it was done to actually support our business logic of this collateralized portfolio-backed loans and all the cool stuff you already enjoy happily in our parachain. So yeah, this is pretty much it for the Ledger stuff. Stay tuned. We're currently also actively discussing it with other parachains, encouraging them to submit pull requests to our repository so we can collect as much as possible. And once all of that sorted out, we will definitely proceed with first listing in the Ledger Ledger app catalog first in the developer mode, and then once we perform the third-party audit, With the help of Parity and Treasury funding, we will go to the Ledger Live store. Both devices will be supported. That means Nano S and Nano X. So yeah, can't really tell you anything about timing right now. Not much really depends here on us, but on our part, I can reassure you we're doing everything as fast as possible, as usual. Yeah. So let's go to the next slide, Alex. I guess that's it we wanted to say about the Ledger. Another exciting news, Nova Wallet has finally added support for our balances, and now you can work with Equilibrium tokens inside the mobile Nova Wallet, which is exciting stuff. And one of the things we're busy with is actually porting our interfaces to mobile devices. So you will enjoy Equilibrium not only on your desktop computers, but also on your mobile phones. And Nova Wallet will help you to achieve that. And they actually work in both modes. That means an in-app browser where you go directly to the wallet and you open Equilibrium and you start doing stuff there and signing transactions there. And also in a more of a classical Wallet Connect fashion, where you go to the Equilibrium website from your mobile to the Equilibrium app, you hit the Connect Wallet button, you select the list of supported wallets, one of which will be, of course, the Nova Wallet, and you interact with the Equilibrium blockchain in this manner. Yes, also can't really make any statements on timing here. Lots of work, and we're busy with lots of different stuff, and interfaces is usually a huge amount of work because it has to be all prototyped. There's a lot of work and rework and several, these consecutive steps with designers. So not to be overly optimistic here, just to let you know that this is in our plans. So yeah, stay tuned, follow our social media, and we will tell you when it's time. So that's it, I guess, about the wallet support. Now going to Genshiro. As you may know, quite maybe a week ago or so, yeah, we released the article outlining our future prospects for Genshiro. We've finally made this hard decision to migrate to parachain. Well, it was tough, and we decided.
But no brainer. But I would say that no brainer. No brainer, but tough.
No brainer, but tough. Yeah, but the funny part is, all of the other DEXs inside the ecosystem right now, they're thinking about our setup where they have this standalone chain and the parachain, and they connect them because standalone is much faster, which is really ridiculous. That's because true, yeah. we invented it like 2 years ago, got a lot of negative feedback because of the setup itself, and only 2 years after the ecosystem is coming to the fact and to the realization that this is actually the way to go. But anyways, so since Genshiro is lagging pretty much behind the runtime version and all of the updates we've put into Equilibrium, the migration won't happen as easily. And that's why we decided to mitigate all of the risks. And that's why we decided to actually wind down all of the depth positions in Genshiro before actually migrating. And as a reminder, you still have time until the 3rd of May to wind down your depths. And if you don't do that, we will do that for you after that time. And our projection is that the migration itself will take us around a week or so with all of the code and updates that we need to do. Also, I've already seen some questions in the Q&A session here, which ask about the inability to get EQDs and to pay out their debts in Genshiro. Well, yeah, unfortunately, the stableswap pool in Genshiro is depleted, but you can mint EQDs for example, in Equilibrium and bridge them over to Genshiro. The bridge is working just fine. And also all of the stablecoin swaps and us winding down your debt and taking your collateral will be in a 1-to-1 ratio. All of the discounts, they are only applicable to Genshiro tokens and the X.dot tokens themselves. Well, for obvious reasons, because Genshiro is a very liquid token, and X.dots, they are priced as a discount to DOT because pretty much it's a claim on a DOT which will be unlocked sometime in the future, like half a year or more, when the corresponding parachain slot lease is over. So hopefully this answers the question, and hopefully you understand what you're doing with Genshiro. Also, yeah, we're preparing a new exciting product. I will just say no more. It's like a little sneak peek. But stay tuned. There has been a lot of work on our designers and prototyping part. And once we migrate to the parachain, we will definitely put it forward as well. The funny part here is that it was implemented a long time ago, and we just didn't want to launch it, and we didn't do any UI and UX for this stuff. But we decided, well, why not? Let's do that. Let's make our Genshiro community happy. So
Yeah,
soon
I would add to that. That's it.
Stuff.
Yeah, I would add to that if you remember, the tagline of Kusama quite a while ago was wild cousin of Polka Dots, where everything is super experimental. And actually, Genshiro was being built like in this spirit, in the spirit of experiments. And it initially was designed to be the test site for our developments, for our new products. And this is the time has come. So right now is the time for experiments. Stay tuned, and just to make sure that you guys are not misled here, like the new product will definitely not be launched on May the 10th. It will be launched later. On the 10th, you will be able to see all the balances expectedly back on your on the parachain side. So you'll be able to transact at least via Polka.js after the migration. So but the actual like UI and stuff will be back up a little bit later. So you stay tuned to our announcements. And maybe one heads up to the guy with his question. So just outline here, make sure that there is no kind of unclarity. So you also can get UD stablecoins through the stableswap, which is quite liquid and expectedly will be also liquid with once we launch the USDT. Like I mean, the newly launched the brand new pair of USDT to EQD will be also liquids, and you will be able to get EQD through there. So it's another way how you can manage your thing with EQD if you need to get some from us. So yeah, so pretty straightforward way, I'm sure.
Yeah, thanks for
is that it for Genshiro? So moving to the next slide then.
Yeah, let's do it. All right, so another news or the past event we've had is the AMA session with Astar. It was a huge success. So around 30,000 of impressions. You can check out the replay there. And Alex was talking about a lot of exciting stuff, the future of Equilibrium, the future of Polkadot ecosystem, our vision on it, and the way we are integrating with Astar, the way we're pushing our stablecoin and making it an ecosystem native stablecoin of choice for the users to come here and to use it in as much a broad spectrum of products as possible. And also how we're partnering up with Astar, and you've already heard about ArthSwap. Definitely there are other protocols inside the Astar ecosystem, which we're looking forward to integrating with. So stay tuned. Same goes for Moonbeam, actually, and we're in a lot of business development work in this regard, talking to everyone, discussing the terms, opening up the pools, doing the XCM integrations, working on our tokens representations in their UIs. So yeah, it's a broad spectrum of work, and usually not everything goes as smooth and as fast as we want it to, but we continue our hard work to make things happen. So yeah, that is it for the AMA reminder. Please go ahead and watch it. Yeah, you have a QR code there. And now back to other stuff we've been busy with. One of the also prominent stuff that we're working currently on is the multi-chain bridge update. As you know, there was a certain incident related to multi-chain and Moonbeam's cross-chain smart contracts, which pretty much enabled multi-chain to stop the current solution, and they want us to migrate to the new solution where we would split the responsibilities more precisely between who is responsible for what. And Multichain is proposing us to migrate to their AnyCall solution, which is pretty much like a generic message transferring protocol similar to XCM and Polkadot, which connects all of the different chains. And as you know, Multichain connects like 60 plus different blockchains. What we have done so far the fully testnet setup and implementation, and we've deployed all of the contracts live already. We've made updates to our UI, and right now, pretty much the only thing that stops us from launching the solution is the requirement from the multi-chain that they need to perform an audit of this AnyCall stuff. Doesn't depend on us, so we're really pushing them forward with timings, and once we get to know how fast this will happen, we'll definitely let our community know. But on our side, all of the work is done, and another stuff that needs to be sorted out is to how to migrate the current balances. For example, you know, we have lots of USDCs in Equilibrium, which were bridged via the old bridge. So those need to be migrated to this AnyCall solution as well. So we are sorting out that too. And well, in the process of sorting out, once we know the solution and once it's done, we'll definitely let you know via our social media channels and Telegram, Discord groups. So please stay tuned. But the exciting news here that all of the technical works is done. Now it's all bureaucracy as usual. Yeah. Hopping forward to our development updates. Again, busy month for us. I already talked about the multi-chain bridge. A lot of UI improvements we've been working on, and also one of the major updates is the XCM refactoring. So we now support a new format of XCM messaging in our parachain. And as you know, Equilibrium is one of the few parachains which is connected to most other parachains inside the ecosystem, because we've done a lot of work in this front. And there's even this neatly looking graph. I forgot the link. I believe we shared it during our last community calls, where you can pretty much experience the Polkadot universe and see which parachain is connected to which parachain in this interactive graph. And Equilibrium is like one of the, most central nodes in that graph, I would say that in mathematical terms. Yeah, so go ahead and check it out. It's fun to play with. You know, when you pull one, everything starts to moving around. Really cool stuff. Alex already mentioned the new stableswap pool, EQD USDT. The pool is actually already up and running. We're waiting on our front-end team to add it to the stableswap interface. So hopefully this will happen next week, and we'll provide initial liquidity, both in EQD and USDT there. The USDT token is a native Polkadot USDT, which is bridgeable from State Mint. And you already can get it, I believe, from Gate.io, from Bitfinex exchanges to the State Mint. And from the State Mint, it's a simple XCM transfer to Equilibrium. Another cool and exciting thing we have already mentioned is that our code base is now open sourced, and this caused a lot of headache to our developers because all of the code had to be verified like a lot of times and cleaned up. All of the comments and all of the dirty and not really pretty looking stuff had to be cleared up, but now it's in a state where we believe we can share it and be proud of what we actually did. Of course, it's a double-edged sword. Now some really determined hacker can go ahead and try to find something that we don't want him to find there, but hopefully, yeah, we don't have any critical bugs there because everything was comprehensively tested. It was audited before. We're in the process of talking to audit companies for the second audit, and Parity is helping us on this front as well, and they're providing like these companies who are doing regular security checks for parachains. So that's one of other discussion points in relation to what's going on inside the ecosystem. So yeah, a lot of work around this stuff is happening as well. Going to the next point, we're continuing our work on the mobile interfaces, and I already covered that when we talked about the Nova Wallet support, and really looking forward to actually adding a mobile interface for our app, because if we look closely into our analytics reports, a lot of users are using mobile wallets. I believe it's like 30% of our users, they go to Equilibrium through their mobile devices. So it's going to be a huge boost once we support the mobile app. So we're currently working in this direction as well. Deeper wallet integrations with sub-wallet, fearless wallets. Yes, we finally persuaded those teams to look closely and more deeply into our balances and the way we handle transfers, and pretty much they've added support for EQD tokens, and that is also an exciting news. Since we open sourced our code, Moonbeam agreed to resume our UI integration into their dApp, which is like a Moonbeam portal. Yeah, so you're gonna be seeing EQ and EQD soon inside the Moonbeam application itself. And last but not least, yeah, I already covered the Genshiro parachain migration, and lots of testing and debugging and upgrading to pretty much align the code base of Genshiro with the code base of Equilibrium. And then all of this depth and positions winding down, and the preparation of the migration itself really takes us a lot of time. But we think we'll manage to do everything in timely fashion and to deliver on what we have promised. So that's it for the dev updates. Hopefully it was fun. Yeah, and
Right.
I guess we're done here. So now let's.
So yeah, we're about to wrap up because like we are running out of time. So let's go through the questionnaire section real quick, find out whether there's anything that we need to address the call right away. Otherwise, let's get this done. Okay, so the first thing, I would like to know if you are considering modifying the limits of 10 staking position for EQ. I think a lot of people don't know this, and they test with small amounts, as happened to me, and then they reach the limits defined there. EQ are no longer useful, at least for now. This can incentivize the sale of the token. Maybe it's better to put a limit by amount of EQ, not by positions, to avoid this misunderstanding that happened to me while testing the platform. Peter, do you want to address that?
Yeah, so pretty much Raul is talking here about the limit on the EQ staking positions, and we had like 10 positions per account. Well, nothing actually stops you from transferring your EQs to another account, and you'll have a limit of 10 positions on another account. But I see your point here, and architecture-wise, I don't remember why we did this. Well, I do remember why there is a limit, because we don't want our blockchain to be spammed, with one account opening like tens or thousands of different staking positions and then clogging the blockchain pretty much. Also, it had to do something with the way the actual farming mechanics works, because those locking periods have to be predetermined to not to overlap. That is one, and to make sure that if you stake, for example, for half a year at day one, and then you come back later in 5 months and decide to stake in the same pool, you won't be able to do that, because that is sort of a cheating. You're supposed to be locking your tokens for 6 months, but you're effectively locking part of your tokens for 6 months and another part only for 1 month. Yeah. So this is the answer.
Okay, makes sense. So the second question to cover, could you go on your liquid.staking page and briefly explain it? Because I don't understand why the price on the graph on to the left is different to the Q dot price in the right, and also why it's, if I stake 100 dots, it shows me that I staked only 99.6. Is there any tech info I could find about it? I can't remember whether we were covering this in the docs, by the way. Peter, can you remember if we have it on Medium?
I'm not sure, Alex. I'll have to check, but we already looked into that. I was reading through the questions and forwarding them to my team. There is a bug, front-end related. Well, not front-end related. Pretty much we calculate price in one place using one source, and another place, that means on the chart, using another source, and we just have to align those, and you will be able to see everything correctly. And probably the amount of dots you get incorrectly is because the incorrect price gets multiplied by the amount of your EQ dot balance. So once we fix that, you'll be able to see the same price both on the chart and in the My Stake section, and you'll see the correct My Stake dot amount.
Okay. So when will I be able to use my token, EQ tokens, which voted in crowd loan using Ledger? Oh, this is great.
There's no concrete timing, and pretty much since we decided to forego the unique app for Equilibrium, and Ledger asked us that their main concern is not to support lots of different apps per parachain, and because it's a pain in the ass on their end. And we were actually finalizing the solution with them beginning of this week. We had a call on Tuesday. So hopefully next week we will align all of the expectations with parity and move forward. Well, in the developer mode, I would say another month or two. For the live mode, it really depends on the audit and the auditor capacity. So add another month or two. Yeah, these are approximate. This is an approximate timing.
Okay, could you comment on the Moonbeam situation? We want our EQ back, and I saw that the proposal didn't pass. What's the next steps? Cheers. Yeah, so look, I actually quite we're quite kind of stuck with Moonbeam, because like they are very much decentralized, and they're so much focusing on decentralization. Actually, we're kind of fighting this situation, and we hope that we are sure that it's quite unfair to say that it's our fault and we need to manage that ourselves, like the way we can. So basically, just pull out the pockets and pay everyone our money. I'm not sure. Like recently, there was a bug discovered in Moonbeam, which was affecting our bridge with Multichain, and we actually just helped our partners in Moonbeam to make it like resolved quite fast and without like rumors or whatever. We could do the opposite thing, right? Saying that it's your problem and you need to solve it yourselves as you can. So this is exactly the same thing, right? So that was their fault, and this is our fault, and I'm sure that it's kind of the way of how partners working together, helping each other to solve different issues. So okay, so this we definitely will solve that. So no worries. But my guess that we need to take to make one more attempt to get this done. So yeah, just please keep on waiting just a little bit. I'm sure it's gonna be done like relatively soon. Okay. I want to make it clear that I'm asking the question with the best intentions and constructive nature. And the constant loss of value of the token. Sorry, Raul, I cannot comment on the price performance in any way. Mobile interface, does it include XCM capability? So yeah, this eventually will include like all the functionality of Equilibrium. We'll be rolling out one stage by stage, and yeah, so this is it. Okay, so the last question for today, and we'll be wrapping up. Bailsmen like me have been involved in been involved for over 2 years now. Will Genshiro ensuring the smooth running of the products? We have accumulated debts during rough times. How you are forcing me to liquidate my assets while the market is down? This is a kick in the teeth. Can you guys reconsider, please? Yeah, so look, I think nothing contradicting here. We just will cover all your debts. You don't need to cover these debts yourselves. No needs if you don't want to do that. Just one thing. So make sure that you kind of know the priority of asset liquidations, which have been stated in the article. And if you want to keep some assets with you, just withdraw them from your bailsman pool to your wallet, and that's it. So otherwise, we just pay this debt for you. You don't need to pay this debt yourself, and that's it. So I don't see here any contradictions, to be honest. Okay, folks, thank you very much. Appreciate it. And yeah, definitely was
Last question,
interesting
Alex.
call.
DEX swap coming up on EQ. Well,
at some point we'll come up. Yeah. So stay tuned. The only thing I can say here. Okay, folks. Again, thank you very much. Was an awesome call. We covered a lot of stuff that we wanted to put out today. Don't miss the Polka DeFiance event, all dots connected, which will happen on May the 4th, and see you here next time in a month from now. Thank you very much. Take care.
Thank you.